Oh, such great memories. I just love that. So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen again. Let's see here. Am I disabled?
I see you.
I'm going to share my screen. It's saying disabled, Miss Amber.
Try it again, Trish.
Okay, thanks.
There's Amber.
Ooh, there we go. Okay, let's see here. Great. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Trish. I'm the Study Abroad Coordinator and one of the group leaders. I have been teaching at ACC almost 30 years now and been running Study Abroad since 2004. And I'm going to share with you an upcoming trip. If you haven't turned off your microphones just during the presentation, go ahead and do that. And we're going to provide you some time to ask questions at the end. However, if you need to stop me midstream, I mean, you're also welcome to do that as well. Okay. Whoops. All right, so we are creating a trip for 2022. It actually was originally going to be in 2021 this summer, but there happens to be a pandemic, and so we had to push it out. But it really gave us a new opportunity by pushing it to 2022, is that now we're collaborating with our workforce and community programs. So we're actually going to be providing the trip to our credit students, but also our non-credit students. So it does give us a chance to be a little more inclusive in that way. This particular trip that I built will be June 9th through the 19th. It's a 10-day trip and it's private, so it's just our group. It's customized. I like to be very picky about our trips. Our hotels are centralized. I pick the tour director. I always know who the person is. That's someone I've worked with frequently. I pick where we're going to go for our planned sightseeing and things of that nature. So this is a cultural immersion in Amsterdam and Berlin. And although it has an art focus, we're also going to add a leisure focus as well. Our course options, as you might have seen when you did your RSVP, included our architecture and interior design program. We'll be doing a drawing course. Ceramics will be doing an upper level course. I do photography. We're doing travel and landscape. And then we also have a painting option for anyone who might be interested in that. Again, by the way, all those courses provide credit and non-credit. It actually will look very similar to all of you. The difference is you won't need to worry about the grade. And if you don't want to participate on the back side of the trip, which I'll explain a little bit here, that's another thing that we can change for you. What will we do? Well, we will go on some scheduled tours and see some local museums and landmarks. Always sometimes on bus, depending on where they're located. It helps us get acclimated onto where everything is located. Some of the more difficult places to get into, like the Rembrandt and the Van Gogh Museum and Anne Frank's, we've pre-booked those to make sure we can just walk straight in. During your free time, there's a couple days in both cities where you'll have free time to go to places of your location. You can make your art there. You can, eat your way through the city. That's what I do some shopping and just have that cultural experience. For some people, you may want to sit and just sort of, watch what's going on. And for others, you might be racing through the city, taking pictures like I do. It's really up to you. We also have some other fun activities you can do. You can go on a boat ride down one of the canals or take a bike ride. These are very walkable, bikeable cities. And so it gives you a chance really to get a sense of the culture and relax. We'll be spending 4 days in Berlin. Some of the places you can visit, Some are scheduled and some you'll do on your own. Museum Island is a beautiful place to go. Lots of stuff, very close together, clustered on this little island here. We also have the Brandenburg Gate, which we'll see via bus. The Berlin Cathedral. This one would be on your own. I love taking my photo students to the cathedrals and basilicas because they offer some really ornate architecture. So it's really great for us, especially the interiors. We will see the Berlin Wall, which is now known as the largest outdoor gallery in the world. So we're going to have the historical information provided as well as our new contemporary information on this site. We will also visit Checkpoint Charlie on one of our bus tours. We will be flying between the cities, mostly just because it allows us more time on the ground. The train would take us an entire day, so we've opted to go via flight, which is really closer to about an hour and a half. But you know flights, so I just put a little wiggle room in there. So we'll be flying from Berlin to Amsterdam. We'll be spending 5 days there. We'll have more leisure time in Amsterdam. We're going to have 3 free days depending on exactly where they put all of our scheduled tours. We will go see the Van Gogh as part of our EF experience, as well as the Rembrandt Museum, and then also the Anne Frank House. And then on your own, you're going to be able to go to some of the other museums. There's a lot of museums in both of these cities. Lots of outdoor markets, bridges, canals, things of that nature. These are some of the most famous images you've probably seen of Amsterdam, as well as their graffiti district for those who might want to see more contemporary art and what's going on there at this time. We are going to go to the Riksdag. This is going to be an amazing place to document inside and out because of the glass architecture. It's actually attached to one of the museums. We will go to the Rijksmuseum and their outdoor garden. It's not a scheduled tour, but I will make sure my group goes to it just because of what it offers for us as artists. Anne Frank's house, as I mentioned, small but mighty, so we'll get a chance to see that. And then, of course, I love basilicas, so we'll be going to St. Nicholas. We will provide you with a list of places to research. Of course, you'll be doing some of that research on your own as well so that you can pre-plan the places you want to go when we're not on tour. It's really important to have a basic idea of that, so when you have that free time, you can make the most of it. We work with EF Tours. I've worked with them since around 2007. They're an educational tour company. I use them for college study as well as I work with my daughter's former middle school and high school, and I use them too. So I use them a lot. They are fully comprehensive on the planning of the trip. They currently have twin rooming available. The price for our trip right now through the end of this month is $47.95. And again, twin rooming, and that would be roughly about $336 a month. So that kind of gives you an idea of some of the pre-planning that we need to do this far out. It just makes it a little easier to pay those monthly payments instead of trying to do it all at the end, especially when the price goes up. You can always upgrade to a single. There is a fee for that. I think it's around $360 is what I paid for my upgrade from the twin to the single. I'm including the link here, but I'm going to send this to you as well. It's also on the same page where you went to do the RSVP. If you register for their auto payment plan, it's a $95 registration. You'll also automatically be enrolled in their risk-free program. And what that is between, by May 1st, you have to have already registered, that you can cancel for any reason, no questions asked, by August 1st, if you need to, especially if you're just sort of watching what's going on in the world right now, you could cancel for 100% of your funds. They do have some cancellation fees, which you can go look at on their website. I am trying to get that date pushed out from August 1st because we are seeing some things change, and I just want to make sure that we're being respectful of that. But for right now, they have that date is August 1st to do your cancellations. There are 3 payment plans. The easiest is the auto payment. It's only $95, as I mentioned, plus you get the risk-free program, and you would get the $200 off. If you want to hold off, by the way, the registration deadline The very final registration is in February of 2022. What is included in your price? Pretty much everything. It's all pre-planned, all our flights and ground transportation as a group. If you happen to elect to take a taxi or a boat ride or something, that you would pay for separately. It includes our hotels, which are centralized. I do that on purpose so we can walk out and just start exploring and not have to bus into the city. The rooms come to start as a twin room for anyone over 30 years old, and with a private bath. And again, you could upgrade to single if you wish. We will have a continental breakfast every morning before we head out at the hotel. We have built in the comprehensive travel insurance that's there so that if anything happens on tour, whether it's a small medical or maybe our flight's delayed and we have to stay in a hotel overnight, that covers those types of things. We will have a full-time 24/7 bilingual, that's a mouthful, tour director. We will be using Eduardo, who some of you know from former tours. We call him Eddie. Yay, Eddie. He's fabulous. He loves artists. He tolerates us as we try to slow down our tours so that we can make art as we go. I've already been talking to him. He lives in Berlin. So I've been getting the skivvy on what's going on there. I usually Zoom with him about once a month to stay in touch. We'll also have local guides at some of the places we go to. What is not included will be your class, regardless if it's non-credit or credit. You'll work through either the credited program or workforce to get that taken care of. Your lunches and dinners, we did not include them so that you can eat and dine anywhere you want at any time when we're not on tour. We just want you to be able to have the experience you want to have. I have a tendency to eat power bars at lunch, so you might not have had as much fun with me on the meal part of that because I like to stay photographing, so that's why we did it. If you go anywhere that we hadn't pre-planned, you would of course be paying for that. You might just look up ahead of time what that cost will be. That way you're already know what your budget looks like. Spending money, we all need to buy treats and souvenirs, those types of things. And if you take any additional type of transportation that we're not including, sometimes we just take taxis. We just decide we're done walking and we'll take a taxi back to the hotel. We do have the tip for the tour director. Currently, I am trying to get that covered, so that might be an item I can cover for you through my fundraising. And if you need a passport, okay? What do we do to get you prepared? Well, a lot. We'll have pre-trip classes and orientation. I meet with the whole group once to go over safety and expectations. Then you'll have some classes with your instructor. Generally, they're on Saturdays for a couple hours, but that's really up to the teachers. I know in photography, we meet, we talk about travel photography. I show some examples of different ways of viewing things and how to change up how you're documenting, how to deal with large crowds. Places aren't always empty. We talk about why we like to get up early and photograph, because there's nobody on the streets except for us, as you saw in the video, or even night photography. So we meet a couple times to get prepared. I also provide a field trip for us to test our gear, test our feet, find which buddy group we like to be in, whether it be based on our skill set or our pace, things like that. We will have some post-trip courses. Usually they're just critiques and we're getting ready for an exhibition. So we meet a couple times, pick which pieces you want to put in our show. If you want to participate as a non-credit student, you are welcome to participate. We really encourage it actually to be in our exhibition, but it is not required of our workforce and community program artists. However, most artists love showing their work off, so it's available to you. So it's not a traditional class. We only meet a little bit before to get ready. We're on the trip, and no teaching on the ground, just making art and exploring and having that cultural immersion experience. Then we get back with a few critique classes to get ready for the show. So this is not a 16-week class where we sit in a classroom. Okay, so don't expect that. Typical days, we wake up in the morning, we have our breakfast. I usually run around asking if everybody took their Dramamine. Does that sound familiar to some of you? I don't know what it is. We always get motion sickness on the trip. I don't know. We go on a scheduled tour or it's a free day. It kind of depends. And then you'll have time to eat lunch and dinner at your own pace. And then we will walk a lot. So I'm hoping all of you will start walking and training for this for this trip. We walk average of maybe 5 miles a day, sometimes more, really depending on which group you elect to be with when you buddy up. Although keep in mind, when we get tired or if we don't feel well or we might have we have a really bad blister or something like that, we can take taxis. So it's not like we're going to force march you everywhere. So keep that in mind. But we do like to make sure that you know we will be doing a fair amount of walking. And then of course on free time, you'll do that at your own pace. And walking can mean sitting at a cafe, right? Okay, so please remember that. Free day really is what you want it to be. Once we get closer to the trip, I'll know exactly what days they were able to book our tours, and then you can sort of start planning what places you would like to visit or, you know, go explore, shop, eat, things like that. I do a newsletter every month. I would give you the back issues of that. I have 7 so far for those who would be registering at this point. I have medical packets we're going to complete later down the road. We have our orientation, so you feel very prepared. As you can see here, I have a full list of things that your newsletter will cover. So I make sure that you get a lot of information. And of course, any question you can't find in these, then you would just ask them. On the web page that you went and registered at for this orientation, there was a art gallery you can go look at. Some of the art is actually art from the students, but also images of them on tour. I love photographing my students or videotaping them just because it allows us to truly document what that experience looks like. And then we have some articles that the students wrote through our journalism program. So now I showed you the video from Italy, which by the way made me a little teary-eyed, and I love the little tune that we put with it. It's great to see our students on tour. That was really, especially with COVID, really felt good to see that. Some of those students are with us right now. We have 3 people. We have Alexandria, Kathie, and Molly, and they're each going to share with you just a brief statement about why they went on the trip. They are more deemed towards the non-credit programs. And I'm also will be showing you some of the work they created. So this is Alexandria. Alexandria, would you like to share with us your experiences?
Absolutely, I would be thrilled. That was for me, it was a trip of a lifetime. I just still relive it, not only through looking at my photographs, but I did some paintings. It just brings such joy to me to remember each of the experiences. Sometimes before I go to sleep at night, I just start with the beginning of the trip and work my way through my memory. I am half Italian, so I said hello to all of my ancestors while I was there. It was just an extraordinarily well-organized trip. I was so impressed with the organization and super safe. You're able to check in with people anytime you need to. Trish, I don't know how she did it. And Angela was my teacher as well on that trip, and you could reach them by text or phone anytime. It was just wonderful to feel that safe. I paint more than I take photographs, but I did take 2 credit photography classes in preparation for this trip, and I was really glad I did that because I had no idea how to use the camera otherwise. The classes are excellent. I've taken classes at ACC since the 70s, both workforce and traditional credit classes, and I'm just amazed at the level of teaching. And the trip was just, it was fun. You know, you kind of just listen to each other during breakfast and team up for free time. You hear somebody's going here or there, like the chocolate factory. Was that Florence? Remember if that was Florence or Rome. I'm kind of got them mixed up, but a bunch of us that normally didn't travel together during the day went together as a group to the chocolate factory, and that was really fun. I think I have the name of it wrong, but you know, other times I'm 75, and other times the young people were quite kind to me and let me tag along with them. So I not only got to see things kind of through their eyes, but just enjoy the conversations of the young. So it was wonderful. I can't say enough about it. And um, I just, oh, here's something. I took about 3,000 photographs, and I thought I'd taken a lot. When I got back, some people told me they'd taken 6,000 or 7,000 photographs. And I realized when I got back, I didn't take enough. You know, if I had it to do over again, I would have taken many, many more, especially of Venice, which is a painting she has up here on the left, I think, my left. And I did 2 of those. I don't usually do perspective. And so it was a tremendous challenge for me. So I did a small one first to try to learn how to do the perspective. And then I did 3 foot by 4 foot. So she's got all the work from Venice there, or most of the work from Venice there. And I was so grateful because the gondola trip wasn't on the schedule. And I raised my hand the first day and said, could we please go on a gondola trip? And they saw to it. They worked that into the schedule. So it was phenomenal. And everybody was so nice. You know, we all different ages, and we just got along really well and had a blast.
Oh, that's so great to hear. And it is mixed ages, but we don't, well, being nice is a requirement. So, yeah, but we always get along because we all have the same goals. We make art, and, you know, photography is a form of art. We are artists, so we are all of like thinking, and we all have the same mission. Even though we want to have those other experiences, that's usually what we focus on, no pun intended. And so I think that helps. Andrea, thank you so much for sharing your story about, I remember you on the gondola ride because you were right behind me. I do remember, yeah. Okay, now we have Kathie. Kathie's been on several of our trips, dating back to, I think, 2000, either 14 or 16 was London. So you've been traveling with our group quite a bit, and you're primarily a photographer. Would you like to share your experiences? Can you unmute yourself?
Yes, yes. Thank you, Trish. Well, I'm what I consider a community student. I'm not in any of the formal registered art photography programs. So I'm also excited that we have the non-credit option for this trip. But I just think this has been the best combination of travel and photography. I've done structured travel groups where I only get a chance to do a point and shoot photo and off we go. It's so structured. And I've also done intensive photography workshops where we're expected to do post-processing to critique our photos. So if you're slow like me, I ended up spending more time in the room than I had planned. So I think one of the real benefits of the ACC study abroad is it's simply to be there, you know, do the action, whatever that might be, and then we come back and do the formal critiquing once we're home, and I really appreciated that. You know, it's, as Alexandria said, it's very organized. Trish and like Eddie or Eduardo, they find the best places for us to take great photos, and we can take that time. And I think that's just, you know, just so good that we can have that opportunity to try out new things. We learn from each other. There's faculty there to help and ask questions and give us a lot of support and encouragement. So it's just really a good chance to, you know, hone in on your skills, try something new in that setting and that amount of time. And like Trish also said, you always have somebody you can go out early in the morning with and capture that golden light that the photographers always talk about. And then I think this year with the no grade option, I would just say that the only expectations are the ones you set for yourself. You know, figure out your own pace, what your goals are, what you want to focus on, and just enjoy it. And also, in again, comparing to some of the other travel trips I've taken, it's just nice to be acquainted with each other before we even go and start that camaraderie. So we're really ready to hit the decks when we land. So it was always a very comfortable group. And again, as Alexandria was saying, you know, as an older person, again, felt very welcomed. You know, just everybody got along, and it was very, very enjoyable, and really encourage anybody to come. So thanks.
You're sweet. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And then the last person we have is what fondly I call Miss Molly. And Molly's been on a few of our trips as well. Molly, would you like to share?
There we go. Hang on a minute. Hi. Hey. Well, this technology, I'm too far away. I've got bifocals, so it's like I'm doing this number, trying to see what's happening. So I have been on a few trips. Let me see what she. Yeah, there's some of my photos. So I've been to two in Italy, and the other trip to Paris and Barcelona. And I guess the thing that I wanted to talk about was the personal side. It is an amazing opportunity to create art, but you don't have to go to Europe to do that. So I think it's a definite challenge. Like I got a little bit of wanderlust and I like doing it, but I also have anxiety. So this pushes me out of my massive comfort zone when your world gets a little tiny, and most of us know what that's like, just having to redo our lives because of 2020. So for me, this is a good stretch. It's a good stretch to watch other people, how they photograph, learn from people. Like, you know, Trish and I were talking on the phone, and it was like, I remember one of our first trips in the Umbria region, everybody fell in love with this one alley. And we probably spent 30 minutes photographing the alley. And you can't do that on a family vacation. No one will let you stop that long. You know, they're like, hurry up, mom, let's go. And it's so you don't even bother to bring your camera, and you use your cell phone, and you're just not, you know, you're not really present as an artist. So going on these trips with everybody else that has the same plan, everybody wants to get that slice of pizza and walk around, and everybody wants to watch you know, we're photographing, but we're also watching the other Parisian artists in a square do paintings right in front of you, and standing at a little shop and getting a fresh baked crepe, and just listening to the other languages, and learning to communicate in a different way, and paying with different kinds of money, and traveling on a bus. It's not going to slow down for you. I mean, there's just so much going on that we don't experience in the United States in your daily life. We drive everywhere. So making sure you have your stuff for the day, getting out, walking, and, you know, you people watch, you photograph, you soak up whatever's happening around you. I absolutely adore Italy. I've never been to Berlin or Amsterdam. I've been to Italy 3 times, and every single time was a completely different experience. So for me, getting to do this with a group of artists is the perfect thing. I've taken family vacations before, and we went to Italy, and it was fantastic, but there's just something about being with your own kind of people. And the cost is just phenomenal. I mean, you know, it is not, you know, you just don't, it's not super easy to pay for. It's not super expensive, but I'm telling you that what you get out of it for the investment is, they should really charge double. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Do not do that, Trish. But you get so much out of it that you just come back and you think, that was the perfect investment. That I invested in myself, I invested in art, I met new people, and I learned things I didn't even know was a thing. And then getting ready for the show, you learn things. It's just, for me, every time I come back, I think, oh, okay, I can't do that anymore. I'm done. That was a lot. And then you start to forget. And then you're like, okay, so I walked 8,000 miles. It's okay. I can do it again. And because it's just, the benefit is just, it's just like nothing else. So
That's so sweet. Thank you, Molly. You guys warmed my heart. Oh, it's so sweet. Well, as we wrap it up, I just want to make sure I will send out a follow-up email. So my phone number and my email are on there. I just want to give everyone a chance. If you have any questions, you are welcome to ask them now. I'm also happy just to have a quick phone call with you. I say quick only because I don't want you to miss the deadline at the end of the month, but I will give you plenty of time to talk. But I am happy to have a conversation with you any time of the day, including weekends. So I'm happy to do that if you would prefer. But if you have a question right now, you can certainly unmute your mic and ask it. Anyone?
I just want to say thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I wanted to make a comment. The one picture of Molly's, the two hands with the grapes or whatever, when I saw that at the exhibit, that's when I said I want to go on these trips, and I signed up immediately then for Paris and Barcelona. That was the photo, Molly, that did it.
I feel like this is a love fest.
I know. I loved hearing all of your stories. I appreciate you guys sharing with us.
Yeah.
Well,
Does
thank
anyone
you.
else have questions? No?
If you don't want to ask out loud, please feel free to put in chat.
Yeah, that's a great idea too. And then again, I will be emailing you right after this with my phone number and my direct email, so I can schedule a call with you if you need to. Does anyone have anything? Is there anyone who is feeling like, I am over COVID, I'm ready to travel in 2022? I'm sure we're all feeling that.
I was just going to say, if you're on the fence, just go.
Oh, woo.
Just go.
So we did have a
Molly.
question in the chat. How do we find the prices of the classes? So I will go ahead and put the link to the website in the chat, and then we'll send that out to you again in the recap.
Okay, great. And when you, I'm not seeing chat right now. Hold on. Let's see here. But we can add that too if you want to send that out, because especially if it's non-credit, that's not my area is for credit. So that would be great. Yes. Matter of fact, I'm going to also snag that myself. So more to come on that. It's not that expensive. It's just a standard class. So yeah. Do you bring your own camera? Yes. Okay. So you have a few options. We do pack light. So you will, well, I say we, but there's a few people who bring like 3 or 4 cameras. Joyce, she's not here right now. She'll probably be on the trip. But generally you'll bring your own camera. I will recommend digital if you have a digital camera, just because film can get a little difficult in travel. More and more through security, they like to scan our film, and that has made some problems with the quality of the imagery once we process and print it, because I do teach darkroom. However, some people still bring film, black and white or color. We primarily do digital. However, you can also use your phone. I mean, my husband's phone is spectacular. He can take better pictures than me with his phone, I feel like, sometimes, than my standard camera. Just the quality is so beautiful, the saturation. But we do have some cameras we might be able to help you with if you don't have one. But if you do, it's always better to use your own camera, because it's the camera you're comfortable with, the one you're familiar with. And we will be going over cameras to make sure that it feels effortless when we're documenting. So I hope that was helpful.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, great, Tanya. Thank you. And again, if you want to talk more about that, I do teach the photo. I have a plethora of information I can share with you. Does anyone else have any more questions? I did notice a few of you wrote down interior design, the drawing class as a possible option. And just so you know, that group will be going obviously to the same group tours we are. They will be visiting some design places so that they can see interiors, as well as maybe some furniture galleries and things like that, as well as art. And they will be doing just basic drawings, the perspective drawing, but when they get back, they'll be doing some design boards. And of course, that's where we can be flexible with you. If you feel done, that's fine. If you want to continue on with creating some of these different drawings that you work on later, or the design boards for the exhibition, you can. We all create a lot more art when we get back. In painting, they do their big paintings when they return. Photography, we're doing our editing. So there's still a lot of art making that goes on once we return. Okay, does anyone else have any questions? All right, Miss Amber, do you have anything?
No, I just want to thank everybody again for attending this session. And if you do have any questions, feel free to call our office directly, or feel free to get a hold of Trish. We'll all do our best to help you along the process, from registration to class to your travel and when you get back. So we're all here to help, and we're excited that you're interested in this program, and we're excited to be partnering with Trish to be able to offer this to more people in the community.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you again,
Thank you.
Kathy, Molly, and Alexandria, for sharing your thoughts on that. It was great to hear that. I haven't seen you guys in a while, except on Zoom. So I look forward to seeing you in person and making art together.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Great. Thank you, Amber.
Yeah, thank you, Trish.
Thanks.
Everyone
Bye.
have a good evening.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
You too.